Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm your host, Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing agents who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my co-host Melissa Wallace and I will provide you with my team's unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We value the experience of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate so much that not only will you hear my perspective on real estate topics, occasionally you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate. And good morning to all my South Shore neighbors. This is Sharon McNamara. You are, of course, listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. And I am here with my sidekick. I was a little nervous this morning.
I was like, the intro's playing and she's not here. Did she oversleep?
Whatever. Mark brought me coffee in bed, and it's just so hard to get out of bed. So I'm not putting the blame on him. I'm putting the blame on me. But it reminds me of the day when I used to have to go to the WATD studio in Marshfield, and I'd come whipping around on two wheels.
Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, so no excuses. I'm sorry about that. But and I was listening to Tim. Good morning. Yes, I can't believe you saw a -4.
Yeah, I can't either. Yeah, and here comes Sharon. Watch out. Oh, geez, Sharon, slow down. Slow down. No, just kidding.
No lie. That's exactly what it felt like today. I'm telling you. I don't know. It was just cozy in bed. It's just so cold.
I hear you loud and clear. That coffee in bed, that's trouble.
It is.
That's a trap.
It is a trap. It really is. Yeah. Because I'm like, all right, just 5 more minutes. All right,
I'll have to tell Mark, no coffee in bed on Saturdays.
No coffee in bed on Saturdays.
Either that or put a string on it. You say, come on, Sharon, out of the room. Come on, this way.
I know. Well, anyways. So, happy week. My prediction was wrong last week for the football game, except for one part of it. I mean, the Patriots won. Yay.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't that the...
Well, I thought the other kid would win because the story about the two quarterbacks, you know what I mean? I thought we were going for MVP. I thought that was going to be the story. But I think what the story is going to be is the Patriots, like... You know, they're in there, and their coach, Vrabel. How do you say his name?
Vrabel.
Yeah.
Which I think looks like Brian Howlett.
Oh,
I think Mike Vrabel looks like Brian Howlett.
Yeah, I see it. Handsome fella.
He's a handsome guy.
He's a handsome fella. Yeah, but like he would be the first, I believe, coach to be... who played in the Super Bowl, won in the Super Bowl, right? And coached for for the Super Bowl.
Same team.
Yeah. Same team.
It's beautiful.
So, let's go. Yeah.
Let's go.
We all we need, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see. We have a week and a day.
Yeah.
We'll see what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations to the Patriots. A lot of hard work, and it's just interesting. I just think in life, just like that humbleness goes so far, and like you can see how that team really works together. Everybody is 100% rowing in the same direction, and none of them take credit for the success. They spread it amongst all of them, which I think is great. So,
yeah, I like watching the little videos of like after the game in the locker room.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting a little pat on the behind from the coach and stuff. Good job. Yeah.
In the tunnel, you mean, right?
In the tunnel,
Going to the locker room. Yeah, I love that too. Belichick didn't do that. I don't know about Parcells or anyone else, but just there's that extra team spirit that Vrabel's given them, and I think it helps a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too. It's just that, like that next level, of leadership that's really shining through. So, congrats. And that should be rewarded. And what better reward than to be in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Right?
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one.
And I'm going to be doing something for my clients. I should extend it to our WATD listeners. It's not gambling because I don't promote gambling. But I'm going to be doing some squares for my clients, and I'm going to be giving away gift cards, like $50 gift cards for each one. And then maybe I'll change it up. Like the last one, I'll give something like $100 gift card. I'm trying to decide if I want restaurants or whatever. I might have even mentioned this last week. But we should open it up to our WATD listeners if they want me to put their name in.
No purchase necessary.
No purchase necessary. I'm not asking anyone to gamble. This is just playing, having fun. Yeah, just having fun and seeing if your name comes up, you have the potential to win something. So we'll decide during the show if I don't want to put that onus on Tim to get all those phone calls. If people do call in, right, that would probably be too much. So we can just have them send an email to realestate@bostonconnect.com. Yeah, so if you'd like to be part of it, I'm just going to throw people's names in. You're not going to pick numbers or anything.
Yeah.
We'll just put names sporadically throughout, and then I'll do the numbers. We do the numbers.
Yeah.
And then
we'll do a little video.
Yeah, with video. And a chance to win. I think, what better way? So I'll make sure I put Tim and Joel in. Put you guys in, So, here we are.
Big sigh.
Here we are.
Big sigh for both of us. It's freezing. It is cold today.
Yeah.
All week.
Yeah. We're going to continue our show from last week. Which is great because it was a really good show. And one of the things I did is I actually made a guide for everything that we were talking about too. So if people do want to get the guide on this, they can also email us at realestate@bostonconnect.com, and we can get the full guide over to you. And the topic was preparing to sell and why having the right documents in place matter, and having the correct answers to everything, because as questions come up, and one of the new listings I put on the market this week was something that sort of prompted this conversation as well. So I have a new listing. It's 46 Blueberry Lane in Pembroke. It's on Stetson Pond. It's an adorable 2-bedroom ranch styled home. Right on the water, fully recreational pond. It's on for $529. I'm going to be doing an open house there today from
10 to 12.
10 to 12. Yep, I'll be there. So if you want to come and visit, and it can be a year-round home, it can be a vacation home. It's wonderful. Mark and I have been over there a couple times. Actually, he's going over there today to make sure shoveling and stuff like that is safe for people. Some people probably want to get underneath and stuff. Anyways, a long story. So, so if you want to see that, but one of the, a couple things were prompted from that, getting that listing, when it comes to, is it a private road? Is it a public road? Is it fully recreational? What exactly does that mean? Because sometimes ponds are recreational, but they don't allow, like motors and things on the pond. Is there a dock? Different things like that came up. And I got a lot of phone calls this week from agents who are going to be sending their clients to the open house today and asking me all those questions. Title V. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get the Title V done before all the snow, so that's, still pending. And she'll have to, arrange to get that done.
Yeah, we'll have to do a show on Title V soon, because I feel like we keep talking about spring market and how spring is, this and that. And I think spring is a great time to do a Title V, because then the ground is not frozen anymore. And, it's, I don't know, you can get to it easier. You can get to it easier. So.
Yeah, it's hard to get to it right now, but the good news is we're not getting another 12 inches this weekend, as they were sort of predicting at the beginning of the week. But one of the things that I created was a master seller preparation checklist for all the different, items that you should be thinking about when you are preparing to sell your home. And, spring market, as we said on the show before this, it used to be April and May, and then it turned into be the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday, which will be coming up soon, the 9th, and then Now it seems like people wanted to get out the gate a little bit earlier, but this is a full list. So if you are thinking about coming on the market soon, of course, we can always do an analysis for you for your home to see. You can't get to where you want to go unless you know where you are, right? But this is a good list that I have here. Truth and transparency, like liability basics, the easements, estate situations, road access, water access in situations. What were some of the other things here? Is it rented or leased? Those are items we didn't talk about last week, so we're going to talk about those this week. What stays and what goes, what's transferable, for maintenance items. And, we're going to be talking about that as well. Do you want to give a little recap of some of the things we did hit last week?
Yeah, so we pretty much talked about, things that documents needed sort of from us when listing your home. So, of course, we have the listing agreement. We went over that briefly. And
lead paint, we have to do that with them, yeah.
We have to do, or we did?
No, we didn't talk about it,
okay.
but you were just talking about listing form.
Yeah.
And if your house was built
Listing
prior
forms.
to 78, we'd have to do a lead paint form. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we talked a lot about, making sure that if you are selling a home that is in an estate, or if you are a personal representative for a property, and how that sort of logistically works, who signs those documents, getting an attorney involved and things like that, because again, we're not attorneys. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're filling out these forms correctly. We have the right things that we need in place in order to sell a home. I know that you have recently been selling a lot of sort of your demographic has sort of shifted a little bit.
No, as I've gotten older, so have they.
Yeah. So, I would say a lot of your recently sold or even coming on are properties that are being sold by family members. Somebody has passed or is in, an assisted living facility or anything like that. And sort of walking through that process with them. And making sure that, you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's.
And that's one of the things we brought up last week is we are going to do a show with an attorney here too, to talk about estates and selling your home and, different ways to hold ownership of your house and all of that. And one of the things I did say last week that, I feel very, very fortunate in my, where I am in my career that, I have professionals, just a phone call away, and they're able to help and help, help our clients. And, we usually have somebody for everybody.
Yeah, we also went over easements too, and just different types of easements, whether it's a drainage easement, right of way, conservation easement, things like that, access to the property and how that sort of conveys for others as well. We talked about developments that have sort of those easements where they would need emergency vehicles to be able to come in and out and things like that. So if you didn't catch the show, it is on our podcast right now. So you can go to talkrealestateroundtable.com, or you can go to your podcast app and type in Talk Real Estate Roundtable. But
yeah, Spotify, we're everywhere, right?
Everywhere.
You can find us everywhere. Yeah, so we did talk about easements a lot, and that could be a show in itself. But again, this is just the basic checklist. So for our listeners, your homework is take really good notes. But if you have any questions, you can always call us at the studio, or you can text Tim 781-837-4900. And he will get you through to us. So it doesn't have to be about this topic. Anything about real estate, feel free to, give us a call or send us a text that way. But a couple other things. If you do want this guide that I created, the master seller preparation checklist and all the things that you should be considering when you are putting your house on the market. And this isn't like the fluff, like, it isn't about the staging. It isn't about the purging and all that stuff. This is like, what are some of the things that I really should have in place when I am thinking about putting my house on the market? Real estate at bostonconnect.com, and we will make sure to get things over to you.
Jenny Wandell, who's a full-time agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate, is watching, and she says, "Good morning. It's a great day to talk real estate, having fun. even with the cold temps, preparing to sell or buy is a great indoor activity.
Oh, that's fun. She's coming up with some really good little taglines. She had one last week. She was here doing coffee and conversations. I'm not sure if she'll be here this week or not, but she'll hang out in the office. So if you want to swing by, we'll have somebody on call for you to come by and just talk real estate. And again, I tell people preparation, this is what this is all about, right? Today's show is about prepared to sell. I mean, that's in your title, and the preparation that goes along with it, because maybe you're not thinking about it right now. Maybe you're thinking about it in the spring. Hey, maybe you're thinking about once the kids finish this school year, maybe you have seniors in school and it's time to move on or whatever. So I think, just being able to come and like sort of talk things through with an agent is really important. So Ginny has been here every Saturday doing coffee and conversations, and she can send us a text and we can read it on air to see if she will be here today. But she had a good tagline last week too, something about like the interest rates dropping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She
I'll have to go back and watch. But I also want to say, in being prepared to sell, I would say be prepared to be asked questions you don't really think about as a seller, because it's sort of like second nature to you because it's your house and you know how to use things, and how, the sun rises in this part of the house and, sets in the other. Like, those things, but those things might be important to somebody else where you might say, oh, yeah, like I have done this. I think that you're going to get a lot of questions about the pond and the dock and, beach rights and things like that today from people, which, maybe somebody who has lived in that house, they just sort of know things.
Yeah, they do. And this is one of the hard things, though. This is why I actually bought for myself last week on Amazon, When I Die book.
Yeah.
Right. And it has, like, you can fill in things, because that is one of the things that I am recognizing, even, going through this with my dad, even though I've been taking care of my dad's paperwork for a long time, it's been easier for me. I know where everything is because I'm the one that had it. Right. So I've been doing all of that for him for 20 years now. But now that he passed away, and for those of you who didn't know, my dad passed away December 10th. And, it's still like going through everything. Like, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I have been thinking about it more and more, and how cumbersome that whole process is if you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Right. And, things happen. And that's why I think it's really important. And I do want to maybe we do a show or a series on that and have, experts in the office to talk to people about the importance of a will. We hear it all the time. But I also, our sign guy, I can't believe that our sign guy, I think he was 44, 45 years old, down in Captiva on vacation, and had a massive heart attack as he was driving a golf cart and died.
Yeah.
Litchfield Sign and Design. I mean, we had David Litchfield. The house I'm at today is actually right next door to David Litchfield, who was my original sign guy. And he was, on the younger side too. I would say he was like early 60s, late 50s. So things happen, and being prepared for that is really important. And I know I've always said, like, when I do those in-house workshops, it's leave a legacy and not a burden. And when I mean legacy, it doesn't mean monetarily. It's giving your family the time that they need to mourn and grieve versus shuffling through shoeboxes of paperwork.
Yeah. And I think being prepared to sell, it doesn't necessarily have to be tomorrow. You don't have to be selling tomorrow. It's just at any point. And that is, true, is doing that When I Die book. It's you're preparing your girls. You're preparing Mark, or Mark's preparing you. For, sort of the inevitable. I mean, we all pass in our own time, but at some point things need to be sold, and having that preparation, whether it's today, tomorrow, or 50 years from now, is really important.
And you know what I'm going to work on as we're talking about this? I feel like we're just having like a little powwow here. We're not even on the radio show. Like, how my mind goes. Like, you say one good thing and then I'm like building on that. And as I'm looking at this master seller preparation list, I think what I'm going to do is make this a workbook. so people can put the information in. So like, here's just an example of my checklist. And if you're watching us on any of our social media, I have it here in my hand, like easements and right-of-ways. So do any of these apply to your property? We discussed this last week, right? Utility easements, electric, gas, water, sewer. Well, if I make this into a workbook, I'll have a section where people can fill that in, because that way there, I've been in the same house for 33 years, we sort of know, you know what I mean? So, but I'm not sure if anything ever, God forbid, happened to me and Mark at the same time. Would the girls know the answers to these questions when they go to sell our home? Yeah. And I've had that many a times now that I'm thinking about it, when I'm working for my clients that are selling their parents' home, an estate home. They're like, in some instances, they're like, I haven't lived with my parents for 40 years. Yeah. Like, I don't know anything they've done. I'm working with clients right now, and I will give them a shout out. I don't know that they listen or not, but we'll be putting this one on the market February. Beautiful, beautiful home in West Bridgewater. And like everything is done maintenance wise, all that other stuff. These people are so great. Their girls are my sister's age. They went to school with my sister. So like 55-ish. Yeah. So their parents are like later 70s, early 80s, maybe just 80. And they're just wonderful people. I asked them to adopt me, by the way. So, I am like in the realm of everything going on with them buying a house and selling a house. I'm like the third daughter, and I love them. And, but everything is perfect. He has spreadsheets. He has everything written down. Military. I was my guess, and I knew it, just everything like perfect. So it's so nice to see that even their girls are able to be part of that whole process, and they're able to understand, right? Like what's going on and take all those notes, because it's hard to sell a house when you don't know anything. Yes, absolutely. But again, I go back to hiring a professional to help you guide you through this process. I mean, we talk about this all the time. We take from our real life experience what's going on in the office, and we turn it into radio shows. And there have been many of conversations recently about a lot of things that we've been talking about this show and our last show, and whether it's if somebody has passed, making sure that you have everything that you need in order to sell. And also being, very prepared, and what happens when there's, sort of this domino effect of, okay, if this happens, and then the next thing is going to happen, and then the next thing is going to happen. But can we still get to the goal line? Yeah. Here we go. We brought it back to the Super Bowl. Right. Blah, blah. Can we? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know what you mean. So, but yeah, no, we've been having a lot of conversations recently, and we're still very optimistic with having a great year. There's just been some interesting things. There's been some interesting hurdles that we've already had to go through. Wild stories going on in this office lately with. And you know what? We can do a whole show on it. Like there's a part of me that wants to do like a podcast separate from the radio show. That we can swear. Yeah, one. And two, like just to really say how I feel about certain things. Like sometimes I have to be, I have to be cautious about how I'm perceiving things, right? Because I would never say anything disparaging about another real estate agent. But when agents aren't doing, that's what gets me fired up the most on this show, right? And we have a situation in the office right now, and it's like, are you kidding me? Yeah. You have a full-time job. How did this slip through the cracks? You weren't doing your job. Where was your team? Like not one of our agents, but one of our agents is on the other side of this, and our seller is the one that's going to, feel a little bit of the repercussions of somebody else not doing their job. You have to take this job seriously. Yeah. And this is one. I keep on saying, Mara Healy, I want to have you on my show, that I really actually want to call Mara Healy and say, you need to see what is going on in this industry and how people are being duped. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, that was my point about, hiring a professional because our professional is doing everything in her power in order to get to the closing table. And you know what? Everybody should be thanking God that her client is very compassionate, empathetic, understanding, and just kind is a kind person. And we know him. So we can say that about him.
Yeah. Ginny came, that other one last week, her thing was rates are moving, people are moving too. So I thought that was good because the rates are moving. So I thought that was
contacts must be working.
Yeah.
Because you could read that all over your cross. I was going to read it for you.
Yep, my contacts are finally working. Yeah, that wasn't me. They gave me the wrong prescription. No wonder I couldn't see.
I didn't say that it was your fault.
Oh, okay, yeah. I knew I couldn't see. I was like, wow, something's going on here. And then I was supposed to be plus 150 and they gave me negative 150. So every time I put them in, I was like, oh my God, I think I might have like some type of.
Yeah, you're having like vertigo.
Yeah, my eyesight is getting worse. All right. So let's get back to this. You're listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you have any questions, comments, or anything that you want to discuss with us when it comes to real estate, we're the people you can talk to this morning, 781-837-4900. If you are a little shy, don't want to come on the radio, feel free to text that same number and Tim can get your question over to us. Of course, you can always go on to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all those other channels, and you can send us messages. Jenny Wandell is on Boston Connect's page right now, I believe, and she is sending us messages that we can read right here on the screen in front of us. So some of the things that we're talking about is like preparing to sell. Last week, I hit upon this a little bit, but just in case I didn't, with water properties and access, private beach, pond versus reservoir, which is really important, and dock rights. I see this as a big mistake a lot of times where people will be saying pond front, pond front, pond front. It's actually a reservoir.
I just remember you having a listing years ago and it was on a reservoir. You're not supposed to go into the reservoir, but they were like, oh, we kayak in it. Can you let everybody know? And we're like, no.
No, absolutely
we cannot.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell someone that they can. We
can tell people you have a beautiful view.
Yeah. Well, we actually had two houses that were on that same reservoir.
Really?
Yeah. It's big too. So Silver Lake, right? Silver Lake, people think they call it Silver Lake Pond, right? Silver Lake. It's a lake.
Silver Lake Pond Street Ave.
Silver Lake. I wonder what it is.
Do you think it's a lake or a pond?
All right, here we go. I always say I'm going to start this show.
I think it's a stream. No, just kidding.
It's a reservoir.
Yes, it is. Yes.
They call it a lake, but it's for water, so like drinking water. That goes to Brockton, by the way, even though it's in Pembroke and Kingston. But that was funny. It reminded me of a time. Okay, I'm going to digress because I have to. This is who I am. And Headbands, that game?
Yes.
And I remember playing this when the kids were little and I had something on my head. And I remember my Aunt Mamie, they were giving me hints and everything. And they're like, okay, it's a fruit. And I was like, okay, it's orange. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I can't think of a fruit that's actually the color orange.
Orange?
In orange.
Well, I'll tell you my headband story. So I was babysitting one time. This was years ago. And we were playing headbands. It was just me and the little girl I was babysitting.
We should play it on air.
And she was like, oh, can we take a picture for Mama and send it to her? And I said, yeah, sure. And so she wanted to take a selfie because she wanted to see the card in the picture. Little sneak.
That was smart.
Yeah, because then she got it right away. And I was like, wait a minute.
Taking a selfie and then she found out. Anyways, so Silver Lake is a reservoir, right? So, and the residents over there, they will tell you, hey, I've brought a kayak out there. I've done this. I've gone fishing. I've done all those things. I think that's great. If you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. But I'm not going to put that liability on you or me by telling someone they can do that, because then they go out there and they're kayaking away and the reservoir police come, whoever they are. The reservoir police come, woo, you're not supposed to be here.
And they're not on a boat, though. They're on foot.
They're on foot. They come running. They're running through the woods to get there. Yeah. So you do have to be, really really know those things. So, and those are the types of questions we're going to ask, when we're listing a house. Can you go swimming, fishing, kayaking, and all those other things? And when I say like a fully recreational pond, what fully recreational means is that you can bring a motor something on there. Now, some of them won't allow like jet skis and things like that. So you really have to, do your due diligence when you're purchasing a house. But if you're selling a house, don't tell us what you do. Tell us what is actually law, like whatever the rules are and regulations. Yeah. And dock rights. This is a big one too, because like I have this situation. It's not a situation. It's the circumstance of the house I'm listing right now is, the owner always had a dock. They're portable, so they come in and they go out, every year they bring them in and out. Well, my client has been, the father is been ill for the past few years, so hasn't been able to put the dock in and out, and then it was getting older and everything, so it was time for a new one. So there always has been a dock there. If you wanted to do something permanent, you would certainly have to go to town hall, talk to conservation. That's a big deal to do a permanent dock, by the way. So it isn't just going through your town boards. I used to sit on conservation. It isn't so much even just going with us. I think you have to bring that to a state level when you want to do a permanent dock.
Yeah.
So those are some questions.
I'm sure you'll get a question.
Yeah. I bring them
up.
There
is a dock. So I'm sure someone will say, is that dog for here? Is that dog for next?
Yeah.
I said dog.
Dog.
Is that dog for
something
here?
Something wrong with us today.
I think it's
cold.
We're tired.
Baby, it's cold outside. Yes. So in the photos, if you go to 46 Blueberry Lane in Pembroke, you can go to bostonconnect.com and see it on there. In the photos, you can see the next door neighbor has his dock still out.
Yeah.
Usually everybody over there takes them in and out just because of the ice and things like that. It's just a better way to care for them. But that dock that you see in the photo is not the dock that belongs to this house. And, and this is what I think makes me a very strong listing agent too, is when people are coming into my open houses, I'm not necessarily waiting for the question. I'm sort of giving them the information beforehand. I just think it makes for a better situation, and it helps people, decide if they want to put an offer in on the property or not. I have a lot, like our conversion rate is really good and our dropout rate is really good because we're giving people all the information that they need beforehand. And then you could be a perfect seller too once you get my workbook.
Yeah. For the promotion of 46 Blueberry, I specifically didn't use the photo with the dock in it because I just didn't want there to be any
assumption.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't want there to be any assumption.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was talking to a couple of agents, and I had said that. I said, with the dock, just this is the situation. He goes, I assumed that when I looked, and I go, well, if you look at the picture, you can almost tell at different angles that it does belong to the neighbor. But that's the other thing, too. Don't ever assume. And Sue Bollinger and I, Sue is a full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate. We both sit on professional standards for the Massachusetts Association of Realtors. And we had to do an all-day course this week. And one of the things is like you're not supposed to like alter photos and things like that to make the property appear to be something that it isn't. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do a little research because I feel as if there was a lawsuit recently because there was conversation that I was listening to last week about this, and people doctoring their photos and how the photos look so much better than the actual property and things like that. So you have to be really, really be careful about that. Like I can't.
Well, we talked about a fireplace.
Yeah.
Having it's like sometimes like a photographer will put fire in the fireplace, but like you have to make sure that fireplace actually works because now you're promoting that it is a working fireplace and you don't really know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there was a house that I was showing one of my clients down in Falmouth, and that was the question is I'm assuming the fireplace is working. And she's like, well, we're not sure. It was a flip. And I was like, well, You should probably take that picture out.
Yeah.
You know, so that's everything about water properties and, you know, things, different questions to think about. Is it a private beach? Is it a shared beach? Do you have beach rights? Because sometimes houses are close to a pond or the ocean.
Yeah.
You know,
they deeded?
Yeah, they deeded rights. Do you have access? You know, is it an easement on your property to let other people walk through?
Well, we had this sort of issue a couple of years ago with a property where the seller had said, oh, we have deeded rights to the beach. Every other condo in that association had said that, but it was not in writing anywhere. It was just sort of like one person had said it one time, and then whole entire, it was like a domino effect. So we're like, but where is it written that you have deeded rights? And I don't think we ever found it.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, you know, a lot of times when we're helping a client sell a house, we may not have been their original buyer's agent, right? So we'll do a lot of this research for our clients. I mean, it is up to the buyer to do their due diligence for sure, but maybe we're the ones that know what questions to ask. But yeah, that's good memory on that one.
Yeah.
Right down the street here.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no, I was told when I bought it. And then we looked at all the other, cause it was a condos.
Yeah.
And we looked at all the other condos that sold there, and every agent sort of copied what the agent before said. And I was like, I can't put this in MLS until I see that it's an actual thing.
Yeah. And I don't think we ever found documentation that it was deeded, so we couldn't say it.
Mm-hmm. The other thing too is, that's what we were just talking about. No legal access confirmed in the beach rights, blah, blah, blah. Is there swimming allowed? We talked about all of that. So, the next on our list that this is really interesting because there's a lot of times, you know, I listen to that app every morning, Clubhouse, and I have, you know, friends throughout the country. It's a great way for us to get together. We're all real estate agents and we talk about what's going on in our market. And this came up recently and some people were like, wow, I've never even knew that was sort of a thing. So maybe it's a thing that happens around here. Everywhere. I do have it in my checklist as well, but rented, leased, or contracted items. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
So if you see a property that has solar panels, that's a big ticket item, I think, to know if it is leased, if there's a loan on it, is the agreement transferable? Is the buyer approved? Is it required that they're approved for it? Because I remember when I was helping you and Mary, was it last year? 2 years ago now, almost 2 years ago. You know, one of your buyers was purchasing a property that had solar panels, and we get a call from the loan officer one day and said, they haven't filled out their forms. Like, they need to do this in order to get the loan approved because they were going to be assuming the loan on it, and it was going to affect their loan on purchasing of the house.
Yeah, so let's slow down that for a second because people don't think about it.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a house. Let's just say it's $500,000 and they have leased solar panels on the roof. It is transferable to a new owner, but the first owner, the current seller, is not paying off that loan.
Yeah.
So that means that the loan is also transferable to the new buyer, but they have to get approved. But let's just say that loan is $200 a month.
Yeah.
Now, let's just say that now a lot of condos too, like units now, they allow it. Like my 2 subdivisions, we allow solar there. And they, now their loan now they're thinking about HOA fees, and if it even isn't that, now that $200, that could bump them out of being eligible to get their loan. Their loan to value might just be off, and they can't.
Yeah,
they don't qualify anymore.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely see this when it comes to condos and any HOA that is a part of the sale. Is you're not just purchasing a property that you'll have a mortgage on, but you're also making a monthly payment towards something. So whether that is an HOA or it's for solar panels. You know, but also there is an option for paying off the solar panels when selling the house. So I think it changes with every solar panel company. But if you're looking at a property that has some people love solar panels. They think that they're the greatest things ever.
Yeah.
So some people prefer a property that has solar panels. So if you're looking at something like that, just make sure that you know the answer to those questions. Is it leased? Do they own it outright? Is there a loan on it? And essentially, can you afford it?
Yeah, absolutely. What's the matter?
I don't know. I heard knocking. Hello? Did you see me? I was like, hello?
Yeah.
I felt like someone was just knocking on the door.
No.
Is anyone here?
No. No one I can see.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that's another talent you have.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll be opening up for tarot card readings today.
So that's solar panels, water heater, making sure that that's, do you own the water heater? Is it leased? Is it transferable? What are the buyout options?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. When we ask that question, is your water heater leased or owned? People who lease it certainly do.
Yeah.
But people who own it, they're like, what do you mean?
Well, I haven't made a payment on it, so I'm hoping I own it.
And, I think that's something that's done through like the gas company or the electric company is, that they will replace water heaters and then you can lease them. So it's like a smaller fee every month to do that. When I have a client that is leasing a water heater, I always ask them to call the gas company or electric company, whatever it is, and find out what the payoff is.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just better to just have it paid off.
Like a car.
Yeah, just have it paid off when you're selling the house. So
yeah.
You don't have to even think about all the details that go into that.
Propane tank lease.
Yeah.
So supplier contract terms, the tank ownership, sort of what happens after that runs out.
Yeah, that's a big one though. I mean, if you're buying a house and there is a propane tank there,
yeah,
if it's being leased, then it isn't like you can get there and say, oh, I decided that I don't want to have this company give me gas propane anymore. I'm going to choose a different company. Maybe it's, the rate is a little bit better. You can't just put somebody else's gas into somebody else's tank.
Yeah. So these questions should come up beforehand, but if they don't, a really great attorney is going to ask these questions when they're going back and forth during the purchase and sales. If they know that a property has solar panels, they want to know what's the deal with these. If they have a leased water heater or propane tank, what are the terms with that? Because they're trying to protect their client.
All right. I heard that one. Someone's coming in the door. Okay. So water filtration and softener systems. I've never come across this, but I'm assuming that those can be rented, leased as well. So I'm not going to give any little story to go along with that one. Security systems, that comes up all the time because I don't think that security systems are as much of a thing as they were.
So I would say like outdoor cameras, like the Ring doorbell and things like that. Like they're transferable or you take them down. But like I have cameras in the exterior of my house and they're attached.
Yeah, those are attached. Yeah, so that's something that you would decide because we have a section on that too, like what's staying and what's leaving. But with the security systems, it used to be like the older systems. Like we have one here.
Yeah. And sometimes they were connected to the smoke detectors.
Yes, yes. So like some of the security systems here, like the one we have here, if it goes off, it goes to like a main company, that would, what do they call it? Like a something station. Anyways, but I don't think a lot of homeowners are doing that anymore because of Ring doorbells and, all of those. But what's really important when you are a buyer in these situations, because one of our agents years ago had a property that had the Ring doorbell and it was a weird situation. Remember that guy was like in prison or something. I
don't know. I don't remember this.
Yeah. The guy was in prison. Yeah.
I'm looking at the Ring doorbell?
No.
I'm like, how?
No.
Do
you remember that one?
Yes.
Because I'm writing it down. I don't want to talk about it. Yes, right?
Yes.
So the guy was like in prison, but selling the house, and there was a Ring doorbell, and he was refusing to like release the ownership of like the Ring doorbell. So I just told the people, just get rid of it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want I don't know. I'm sort of like in a weird that like, I don't know. I want to see the best in everybody, but I don't always. So I would just say, get a new one.
Yeah.
I don't want you to transfer it from your email to mine.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's weird.
Yeah, it is. And they're pretty inexpensive at this point. So, definitely, think about those things. All right. What are some of the other things? Oh, radon systems. You just want to make sure that you have the documentation on that. Oh, I jumped way ahead.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. Generator is at least financed. Is there like a maintenance program that goes along with it? Like we have a generator here. I have a generator at my house.
Yeah, they come every year.
Yeah, once a year, check on it. HVAC service plans. A lot of oil companies, like if you get oil with them, they'll, they come and they service your boiler and stuff.
I was service plans. I don't know if it's in the future on this, but I'm just thinking like pest. So if you have a pest service plan, can that be transferred to the new owner? It doesn't mean that necessarily anything is wrong, but everybody gets a mouse in their house, every once in a while. You're laughing just because it rhymes.
No, because immediately I thought of like thing 1 and thing 2. I don't know.
Yeah. Termites, things like that. Just like, pest or anything.
Yeah, so that's down here too, is like maintenance programs and transferable warranties. Ask specifically if documentation exists or if it's transferable for the pest inspection, termites, rodents, mouse in the house.
A mouse in the house.
Yeah. Annual services, transferable, what is covered, renewal dates. Here's the other thing too. One of my suggestions to my clients all the time when they're putting the house on the market. I think what makes me a very strong listing agent is because I feel as if I walk through the eyes of a buyer, not as the eyes of the seller, right?
Yeah.
Buyers are looking for what's wrong, not for what's right. But when I am a buyer's agent and I go into your basement and I'm with my client, one of the first things I do is I'm looking for tags on your furnace or your boiler to see the last time you had that maintained. So I always suggest you should be doing that yearly anyways. Like that's just preventative maintenance on your home. So you should be doing that anyways. But certainly if you're going to be putting your house on the market, get it done sooner than later.
Yeah.
Mold remediation warranty. This is a big one. Don't be worried or concerned if you had mold. There's so many houses had mold. It's commonplace for that to happen in New England. It's getting rid of it, and more importantly, finding out what caused it.
Yeah, making sure that whatever caused it is sort of rectified.
Yes, and you want to know what was the scope of work that was done in order to remediate it. Usually they'll come with a 5-10 year warranty, so make sure that those are all transferable to the new owner as well.
Foundation and structural warranties, roof warranty, window warranty. These are all really important things, especially in New England where the weather changes from day to day.
Yeah. And the window warranty, like those ones, that's like really good to have a window warranty because let's just say you have Anderson, Harvey, whatever you have for windows. A lot of times they'll come with a 10-year warranty or whatever the warranty is, depending on what you're buying. But sometimes like the latches will, they just get stuck or they break or something like that. So it's good just to have that, and if one of those break, don't just put it on the side. Like, you know what I mean? When we live in our own house, we sort of tend to deal with it. It doesn't bother me enough to call and get it fixed. But then, you know what? You should just have these things done and repaired right away. I have to tell you, the house down in Pine Hills that our client is purchasing, that I love the match there because the house in West Bridgewater, like how they are so organized. They're buying this house in Pine Hills, and we met with her this week so they could, meet each other, go through the house and stuff. And I was like, I need to know, what did you do? And like before you were retired, what did you do for work? She goes, I know I'm very detail oriented. I would go, yeah, I want you on my radio show. Like, this is amazing. But she's like, okay, so this is what happened. And I replaced this, but I never know if a pane of glass is going to break. So I saved them because they'll fit in. Just being organized with all that stuff when you go to sell is going to be, it's good. And you know what it's going to do? It's going to give your buyer a lot of confidence when they buy your house.
Yeah. And that's great.
And the answer, and being dismissive about how old is the roof, just tell them this doesn't work.
Yeah. That's deceptive.
Deceptive, yes. And we don't have deceptive practices in real estate. That's called lawsuit.
Yeah. It's called no.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Exactly.
I'll just say that you can never be too prepared.
Exactly. Really? No, you can't. It's great. It's great. It makes everything so much better. Like everybody feels confident when they get to the end there. So what are some of the smart home? We talked about all that. And just have copies of everything. So that's why I'm going to make this little book. I'm going to create this book so everybody can have one of those. And we talked about all of those things too. What stays and what goes. This is a good one.
Yeah.
This could be a whole show.
Yeah. I mean, definitely walk through your house and make a list of things that you are absolutely going to take, absolutely want to leave and remain in the house or even sell.
Yeah. And this is the thing is, if you have a chandelier that's hanging over your dining room table that, was on
the Titanic.
Yeah, exactly. It has extreme importance to you, whether it was, shared from family member to family member throughout the years. If you're taking that with you, my suggestion is replace it now.
Yeah.
Buyers want, like, if as soon as I say, oh, this is an exclusion, buyers want it even more.
Yeah.
So,
or they're going to be like, well, what are you going to put up there after?
Exactly. So just replace it now. Like, if you're taking that, you have to have a light there. You can't just have wires hanging out of the ceiling. So just put something in its place, and that's what we're selling. So,
yeah.
What are some of the other
curtain
things?
rods and certain window treatments? That's a question that comes up a lot. Do you have to leave the curtain rods?
So yes, you would leave the curtain rods because they're attached to the wall.
Yeah.
And if you're going to take them, then it would be disclosed. I'm taking my curtain rods with me. Then you would have to patch that wall or replace them with something else. Because I know people spend a lot of money on curtain rods and things like that. If those are coming with you, replace them with something else.
Yeah.
Let me show in the house what is actually coming with it, not, after the fact you have all these nightmare stories. But if you have custom curtains and everything, are those going to be staying? Are they going? Those types of things.
So what about the curtains, though? Like, so why would the curtains
Because the curtain
stay?
isn't attached.
No, why would it stay? In what circumstance?
The buyer seller doesn't want them anymore.
Or even like those blinds that are...
Yeah, those stay because they're attached to the windowsill.
The windowsill.
Yeah, so curtains are, those are shades. Yeah, shades would stay, curtains would go, unless the seller wants to leave them. They might say, and like if there are custom curtains there and my buyer client says, I'd really like to have all those curtains, it would be part of the offer. All curtains and curtain rods to remain as part of the sale.
Yeah.
So
wall-mounted TVs and brackets.
The bracket stays. It's attached. The TV is not attached. The TV is attached to the bracket. The bracket is attached to the wall. If you're taking the bracket, and this was something that came up more years ago when TVs and brackets were really expensive. That came up more. So, but again, if you want this full list, I mean, this checklist is really good.
We could go on and on.
So like mounted mirrors, built-in shelves, garage shelving systems. The other one is, what is it down in the basement that a lot of people have? Workshops, like are those included or not? But if you want this full list, I'm happy to share it with you. Real estate at bostonconnect.com. And again, I am going to be at 46 Blueberry Lane today with Melissa Clemens, who is a full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate, doing an open house over at that waterfront property that I was telling you about. It's on the market for $529 from 10 to 12. And I don't know who's at Cushing Trails, but this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 12. Sue Bollinger is there this weekend. And Mary.
Is that Cochise?
Cochise Estates in West Bridgewater from 10 to 2. So is she there both days?
No, Kristen's there tomorrow.
And Kristen is there tomorrow. And is Faith anywhere?
Faith is at Cushing Trail tomorrow.
All right, so come visit all these Boston Connect agents who are out there working really hard in the cold. Bring them a tea. Let them know that you care about them. And we'll be back next weekend. Stay warm, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, Tim.
Bye.